Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Ender with your Thursday, August 22nd morning market notes here. As we usually do, let's start off looking at the 1 to 5 day weather map. Obviously, we can quickly see from this map rain for virtually everyone. Some of this rain came off the 6 to 10 day map to be put onto this 1 to 5, but we could clearly see, as at least as it goes for rainfall, no problems with this weather map here. Any area that gets missed on this map that you see here was probably recently hit by a rain here in the last week or so. So we'll say obviously no issues there. Let's flip over to temperatures briefly. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature weather map, seeing some 5 to 7 degrees below average. Obviously, this is not cold enough, and it's still a little too early to make a case for a frost scare. We'll probably talk about that more in early September. So we'll want to see a map like this in early September if we're going to draw up any type of trade excitement as it comes to temperatures. Still a little bit too early and not quite cold enough, but we're going to mention it here just so we know what type of a map we're looking out for in early September if that is going to be an issue. Now let's flip over to the December corn chart. Let's look at an updated chart here. We see that yesterday's low of 366 and a quarter came pretty darn close to contract lows of 363 and 3/4. And also looking at the last 4 or 5 bars on this chart, we can make a case that the crop tour has had some influence on the corn price here. We've seen a little bit of support. But again, if you look at the last 4 or 5 bars on this chart, obvious to say that it hasn't had the greatest influence. So we'll point out again, just for conversation's sake, that once again, the current crop tour going on did suggest slightly lower yields for Illinois than USDA has. But obviously, so far, trade not getting overly excited about the crop tour, as we can see on this chart. Now let's flip over to the last chart we have for today. It's estimates for tomorrow's cattle on feed report. We see on feed 100.8. We see placements at 100.1. Marketing's 106.4. Other than marketing's a little high, could be a little bit supportive there, but for the most part, the other numbers on these estimates are calling for a rather quiet report. So most of the attention should probably remain on cash trades. We're still dealing with leftover panic from that fire a few weeks ago. We will mention that yesterday there was an unconfirmed bid in Nebraska, a dress bid of 172. That same area traded 170 last week. That's a surprise hint that maybe we're going to see a bid that's actually higher than the previous week's trade. Right now, futures are still factoring in a $1 lower cash trade. But this just says, again, we got to watch these bids very closely. If we're pricing in $1 lower, even a steady cash trade this week would still be supportive of futures prices. So as we always do, let's keep a very close watch on cash cattle bids out there. Again, as a reminder, last week's average for Kansas and Texas was 105, and that is what the board pays the most attention to. So that's the number we're looking for, 105, or however close we get to that 105. Again, as we mentioned yesterday, please feel free to give our office a call for our annual crop yield survey that we do each year. That's going to run through this week and through next week as well. So if you have those numbers available, give us a call when you can.